Okay, we're in the workup section of episode 02, which is 219 of the weekly scam. And let me see. Let me get ready for the introduction here. Quiet for a second. Welcome to the weekly scam, episode 219-02 on timelines too. Now, just a quick note, the weekly scam is not just about scams, but it's about what you can do right and how you can be successful. So that on today's show, the weekly scam, we're going to go under free airline tickets. The IRS scam's out right now. And in the second half, we're going to go into, is coaching a scam, and ask the question. And I think it'll be interesting to find out what the answer is. We've had some input from our Blab audience, and we're ready to go. I'm with Mike Sheehan tonight. It is Friday night, and we're doing Blab. Amazing, isn't it?
February 26th.
February 26th. I'll probably do a new intro with a better lead in like I usually do. But Mike, let's get right to this. You're going to give us a little lowdown on this. You found is free airline tickets.
You got the link? You want to send it out?
Let me start again. Mike, we're going to get right into this episode of Weekly Scam and free airline tickets you brought up today. So tell us what you found.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you time you go on Facebook, and these companies, like a lot of these companies online that really know how to catch people's interest. And when they go back and look at it later, they go, gosh, it was right there and I didn't even see it. But what it is, it's fake company pages. And in this particular one had to do with Southwest Airlines. And what was interesting about it is when you go back, and I didn't even catch it when I was reading the article, when you go back, it shows a picture of the airplane. It shows a picture of a Southwest airline airplane, but in the little on Facebook where your picture would be, it says Southwest Air.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're getting you to give you to like their page, to sign up, fill in some information, and now who knows where that's going or what's happening to it. And it was interesting because I've seen that. I had a situation where, and I think it was just that it was, what was it? It was a situation where, I had a situation where I think I'd gotten a parking ticket, and I get this email and it had something about parking ticket. I thought it had to do with mine, had nothing to do with mine when I clicked it on. Now, this wasn't so much a scam, but it was a virus that just ate up my computer.
A scam.
So
I swear I got something on the mail from this. I just tried to search Southwest Air and put a little dot by it. Maybe they took this down by now. I'm sure Southwest wanted to get rid of this, but it's definitely, I'm getting the real Southwest now. So I'm getting the real Southwest stuff. But anyway, I got something in the mail like sometime last year about this same thing. I looked at it for a while and it was really goofy.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really goofy, and it was leading me somewhere. Somebody really tried this stuff.
But they do so good, and you start to get into it, and you go, wait a minute. I mean, how many times have you seen that Mark Zuckerberg's given $1,000 to the first 500 people that give you his information, give you your information to him?
By the way, we want to give full credit. This came off of Clark Howard, Money in Your Pocket. It came from him, which is very good. And one thing I will say about this ad, it's definitely comes under phishing. I consider it a phishing related ad.
Yeah. And that's, we talked about last week. Mm-hmm.
Phishing, basically, they're trying to get information from you. They're probably trying to get you to send them money. Who knows where they come from? And it's crazy. So the next thing, I'm going to throw something into this first part. We're in the first part right now, which I forgot to start my happy little timer by started, because that keeps me in time so I don't spin up all night.
So I would say, put it at 6 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, driving on, what is our next point here? Let's see. Our next one we went to is silence. I'm going back in between.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the IRS scams. Now we're getting into tax season.
Apparently. Yeah, here it is. I have so many buttons open. Yeah, the next is the IRS scams. Just a reminder, there are a lot of IRS scams out there right now. And basically it's phishing. They're trying to get your tax information, and they send out an email saying that you have a large refund coming, and we can expedite the process if you just fill out this information. And it can be like a accounting organization, the IRS, and it's really free. And so we get your money in 10 days or 5 days. Just fill out this short form. They have you filling out an IRS looking form, really short. And all of a sudden now they're filing and they're getting your tax money basically electronically moved into someone else's checking account because they're getting the credentialed information. And that's happening a lot. That's happening. So be careful. Nothing online. Just make sure you just fill out your taxes the normal way. Use the IRS. The IRS, you have to have certain HTTPS sites, and it's only certified by the IRS. I know we do all ours through the accountant. And
with that though, you can get a automatic deposit of a refund, but that's done prior. That's done along with your tax return. It's not something that they're going to come out. They're not going to reach back out to you later and ask you if you want it that way. It's something because that's how I do it. We have if I have one, it's automatically deposited after our tax return is filed. If there is a refund, but it's something I had to give my information to with my tax return.
So that's the big one. And I seemed like I had one other scam this week. Something came up. Somebody told me about. I'm trying to think. I'm writing these down. We need to write them down during the week, post them in the notes. But definitely those are the two big ones right now. That airline ticket's been out there. I think that's mostly gone now, but the IRS scam is definitely hot right now. Anything else out there? Look at our notes. Pause for a second. Coaches.
Thank you.
One I interviewed like before you, and she said, I don't hold anybody accountable. I don't believe in accountability. I thought that was crazy. Anyway,
what's wrong with accountability? The emperor has no clothes. If I tell you I can help you, I'm an open book. Talk to my client. You know I love when people ask me for references because my clients are my invisible sales force. Listen, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, if I give you some people to speak to who vouch for what I do and everything I say I can do, what happens next? Can we make a commitment, move forward? I love them talking to my clients. My clients are wonderful to me. They're my invisible sales force.
I just dropped in this Forbes article. I read the study on this, and I'll talk a little bit about this article too. Yeah, let's go. We're going to hit it.
I already started.
Did you record it? You started it? I?
Yeah, I did.
You're not? Okay, folks, we want to finish up episode. Okay, we're finishing up the first part of the show when we just went over the basic scams that we found out there this week. And we're going to come back and talk for the next 10 minutes about coaching. We brought on Clyde Diamond, who is more than a coach. He's been on also episode 170 on timelines. Go back and listen to him. But I want to go into a little bit about into some areas like real estate coaching, personal coaching, and life coaching. Mm-hmm. What is good? What is bad? How do you find a coach? So with that, we're going to go to break. Okay, coming off our break, we're going to go right into the question, is coaching a scam? Now, my first instinct is it's not a scam, but you can really get taken for a lot of money, and maybe you're not getting the right coach. So that's what we want to find out. I'm going to talk to Mike. Mike is a coach and been a coach in sports for ever and a day, and we all can relate to sports coaching. I would say sports coaching is good. It's not a scam, but there's good and bad coaches. What do you think, Mike?
No, absolutely. I mean, just look at the NFL. You know, there's coaches being fired and hired all the time, and you know, when you think of the word in the internet world of coaching, it kind of gives it a bad name because you know when you think of your coaches back in high school or college, you know, those are probably some very good memories that you had of those people that were really genuine about wanting to help you get better. And that's what I think's kind of been lost a little bit in this online coaching world, where it's just frankly, how can I put across a good enough appearance, talk a good game, and get somebody to write me a big check, and then I've changed my phone number and a person can't find me. And you know, you hear it all the time. I know my wife has gone down the road of looking for a coach and was smart enough to ask the right questions, and you know, had found some pretty good ones. But I think that's really key right there. And maybe you know, Claude can kind of address that. Is you know, what would somebody do who is struggling, who understands the value of the coach, doesn't even know where to begin to start to find one or look for one, and then the questions that they would ask to determine whether this person's of value. And I think people don't do that because one of the things that, in this, you may agree or disagree, they're in such pain that they do get pulled into maybe making a wrong decision because they want that pain to go away. They want to figure out, how can I make some money and make it now?
Yeah. They get sucked in. Many of these coaches are eloquent speakers. Okay. They get people very emotionally involved. First 10 people to run to the back of the room, and things like that. My mentor used to always say, success and failure always leave clues. If you want to be successful in what other area, I teach in real estate, I coach, consult, I mentor in real estate. Sales training is my big passion in social media right now. And I would say to people, if you wanted to find someone, if you have a problem or you're looking to improve yourself or your financial standing, ask around, do your homework on this person, watch their videos, check them online like we all do. Okay, see if there's a lot of complaints against this person. And I do not recommend the BBB, by the way, but I do recommend, the beauty of social media marketing is if there's a flow of complaints about people, then you have a pretty good idea of the quality of the person. Can you talk to that person? Can you speak to them personally? Can you pick up the phone and call them, or can they return you a call? If they want anywhere up to $50,000 and more, which some of them ask for, why can't you speak to Mr. and Mrs. Guru? I don't believe in this pretentious nonsense that they're too good to speak with you and you have to speak to their employees. I am so against that business model. And I think people need to have good value for what they're paying for. These are good people. They want good value. They want someone to hold their hand and help them and coach them. Why can't they get accountability, Mike and Bill?
Hey, let me go right into an experience I had. We've had brokerages for 25 years. And as a broker, I get invited free tickets as a broker to go and meet some of these gurus one-on-one in small groups. It's really not a small group. We had about 300 or 400 brokers down in Orange County meeting with a very top coach company, one of the top 5. And basically they want to come in and, coach your agents and get your agents to pay. But what they do is they lock them up with big contracts. They say, you got to lock them up with a contract so they go out and produce more. So if they don't lock up with a big contract, they won't stick with it, they say. So how do you fight that? And then do you have an upfront fee, or what do you do about those upfront fees?
I charge up front for my fee. I do a contract with my clients. Most of my contracts are a minimum down payment and some kind of monthly maintenance fee or a 1-year contract on that. But I ask people, look, it's okay to ask me for references. Do your due diligence on me. Check me out. Watch it. I got 300 videos on YouTube. Check those out. Read some of my books. Do some homework on me. I'm an open book. And then schedule a free consulting session with me on Time Trade and see if there's a good feeling, if we're a good fit for each other. Because I have discretion too. I don't work with everybody who calls me up either. I don't take every account.
The other thing that they do is they try to create coaches in geographical areas, and they charge the coaches a small fortune to become certified, and then they give them leads.
My mentor Max used to say, success and failure always leave clues. Do your homework on your coach. If they're teaching you about sales, are they successful in sales financially? Are they living in a nice area? Are they driving a nice car? Now, I'm not trying to sound materialistic or pretentious, but are they financially successful in their own right? And can they prove it to you?
Yeah, I would say that's good. But there are ways to scam too. You can borrow and get a high-end car, high-end house, and not have anything.
My big thing is, if you can do homework. You first speak to the person. You do your due diligence online. If you see there's a hell of a lot of complaints on there, that's a clue right there. I know there's a lot of trolls and things who do say nasty things, but there's some people, they have a lot of ugly stuff following them. You need to check them out. Go online, see if there's been a lot of court cases filed against this person, legal things.
It's funny. They're just talking I missed the debate last night because I was in another event that I had to work on. I actually have a client, but I watched a little afterward. And I heard about, this is a debate for politics, so I'm saying the name, but I heard Trump University brought up as a scam.
Here's the thing.
$36,000?
It's very expensive. I don't have anything. I charge a lot of money. I'm probably one of the most expensive coaches, mentors out there. Okay. The question is, are my clients receiving the value that they're paying for, and are they going further? That's the whole point of it. If you're just giving someone a there's third-party coaching programs that the major gurus hire out of Salt Lake City and Florida and places like that. And then they give people a lot of busy work with a group call once a week or something like that. To me, that's not coaching. And the failure rate, there's no statistics because these are mostly private organizations. I truly believe that statistically the failure rate is astronomical for these good people who turn over their life savings to these people.
Now, Claude, you mentioned some earlier, but and just to go back to it, because the value of that person putting up some money, putting some skin in the game as they go down the road to getting educated by a coach. You mentioned, about paying. I want you to just kind of touch on that again, because to me personally, I think if I'm going to go have a coach, I need to have paid some money to show that I'm serious. But what would be I guess somebody who's looking for some basic sales training as far as a guideline.
How about a contract? I give my clients a contract, Mike, and it spells out exactly when we meet, how many times we meet, how they can communicate with me, phone me. They get my private cell phone number, and what is their expectations of my performance? Okay, well, what am I supposed to do? How many times am I supposed to meet with them? So we lay this all out in an agreement, a very short, plain worded agreement, so they know what they're getting into ahead of time. Okay, so it should be all laid out, how much it costs, and there should also be how they can get out of the agreement, if a clause for that, if that's important to them.
Hey, and that's a very good point, because I know when I got my coach, it was all in a contract form, and I knew exactly where I stood. I knew when my payments were due. I knew what to expect, and in this particular case, I was able to see him in person. But that made me comfortable because it was not. It was expensive. I mean, I was investing a lot of money.
Can I jump in real quick, Bill? All the gurus in the end, they always say this word, the one magic word, guarantee. But then when you ask them for the guarantee, you see in their contract, it's usually very ambiguous, very small print, and it's usually some outrageous performance on the part of the prospect that's impossible to perform, so that they don't have to honor the guarantee. So you got to be very careful about what you're signing, what you're reading. Maybe even get I hate to say the L word, lawyer, but maybe you need a third party to look at this.
Hey, folks, I'm going to finish up this portion. Stay on for a few minutes. I want to talk after the show. I want to talk about some experience I've had with, professional sports coaches, which really helped me when I was young. And then I want to talk about what we're going to talk about next week too, about consulting. And I want to talk a little bit more about real estate brokerages, because I'm thinking that after the show is when I look for a brokerage to work for, I want to find a brokerage that already has coaches in it. The broker better be a coach, a great coach, or have coaches.
Yeah.
I want to find that. So I want to talk after the show on YouTube and Blab. So everyone stay tuned. And next week, we're going to talk about political consultants. Are they scams? That'll be a good show.
I'll see that one.
Thanks, Claude, for coming on. Stay on, please, for a few minutes for YouTube. And Mike, we appreciate the support as always. Love this Friday night show, and it will be up tonight on podcast.
Rocking it. Hope we can help a few people.
Okay, and it will be up tonight on timelinesofsuccess.com.
Hey,
thanks. Stay on.
Weekend. Cheers.
Get quiet for a second so I can find the gap. Okay, it's going to be a little harder to edit. I got to teach Mike how the flow goes with the 10 minutes to 10 minutes, and so it speeds it up, because I do 100% edit. It's called a pure edit. I have to on Blab. I'm seriously thinking about doing the podcast on a Skype with call recorder, and then doing a Blab right afterward, going to the Blab afterward with the people like the guests. You're a perfect guest tonight to come on, Claude, for this.
Oh, thank you. It was very nice of you to invite me. I hope I'm not. I love your show anyway, so
I was looking at your sign. We're going to change to the evenings. We're going to be on probably 4:00 in the afternoon to 6:00 at different times in the evenings, in the afternoon Pacific.
Oh, really?
Because you know why? Because I wasn't getting enough work done on my courses. I'm building learning management systems, and I'm not getting enough work done with my clients. So in the evenings, I can do this. And then what would happen is I do the show, and then I get all these phone calls instead of going right into editing. Hey, well, I saw it. You got something new behind you. I like that. A new sign? Is that new?
Oh, yeah, it's been. I used that when I. What's that?
I've seen it before. Because I just saw the blue. I didn't see it behind your head.
I don't think that's not a green screen, right? That's just an old-fashioned sign.
That's
right?
just an old-fashioned sign that I got from Office Depot that I use at seminars and things like that, conventions, and I just thought I'd hang it up as a backdrop behind my office here.
I need your permission right now. I'm doing the $5 Blab course. I want to use a picture of you and this right here. So move your head a little bit, and I'll use that as that's your $5 course right there to do Blab.
Yeah.
The $5 Blab course, get an account and here's some tricks. And I love Blab, but I'm not sure that Blab is giving me the quality of audio that I want on my podcast.
It's working brilliantly tonight.
Yeah, but my podcasts are okay because I do a lot of work on the sound, but I'm a purist on sound. But I think everyone should start with Blab. In fact, I don't even think half the people should even try to even go to a podcast.
That could be another weekly scam conversation.
There are people pod fade left and right. Have you ever done a podcast?
Well, I was saying buying podcast courses to learn how to podcast.
Oh yeah, $1,500, $1,000 to $1,500. I have a $100 module for podcasting. They'll teach you Blab and teach you call record, and that's all you need. And all you need is the only thing you need equipment wise, you shouldn't have the stuff I have. You should only just have this mic right here. Yeah. Do you have this mic, Claude?
I have a good old what is it called? This little puppy here.
Well, that's fine. That's for the Blue Yeti.
Yeah,
that's a fine mic. If you just for that or this, that costs a little bit more than this. This will give you a little bit deeper, richer sound. But the Blue Yeti is more forgiving. You have to know how to use it. You're doing fine with the Blue Yeti. Mike, it'll pick up all the sound in a room, so you have to have a quiet room. So anyway, on the coaching, I want to talk about two things. Coaching, I did Willie Barber, Jerry Barber's brother, professional when I was 15. I worked on a driving range when I was 12, right next to my house in a golf course. I picked up the balls every day. I used to go and chip them into the middle while I was waiting to pick them up after close. So I go around the edges and I chip. And all of a sudden at 15, I found myself a 2 handicap in golf, which is pretty good. And then I got some lessons from Jerry Barber, Willie Barber, who was Jerry Barber's brother, really good professional. He's built about like me. And then I won the Orange County Open. I beat Mark O'Mara in a playoff.
Whoa.
At 15.
Nice going, man.
And then I love football. I was a big time football player, and I'm small, but I'm compact and pretty strong. And I said, and then I went back and focused on football. But then when I went to West Point, they grabbed me and stuck me on the golf team. So I was on the varsity golf team for a couple of years. I said, nah, it's taking too much time. I want to ski, even though it's winter time. So I was too busy with other things.
I gotta go, guys.
Hey, Clyde, come back on anytime. We thank you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Give us the contact information real fast.
Okay. Right now?
Yeah, go ahead and drop it in there.
970-281-5151. Or just go # Claude Diamond. I'm easy to find.
Okay, Claude, enjoy.
Hey, Claude, thanks for jumping in.
Good to see you. You look great tonight. I love your colors. You're nice, rich.
Look at that messy hair here.
No, but the rich colors in your room, they're red, and you got your place looks great.
Well, thank you. We try to keep a balance here at Diamond Consulting Group.
I like that. Right. Mike, we need drinks Friday night. It's Friday night. We got to have drinks.
Why don't you get the boys a couple drinks?
What kind of
Hey, when are you going to be out to Reno or West? When are you coming west?
I am west. I'm in San Diego.
Yeah.
What are you doing down there?
I live here.
I know, but you're up in Denver last time. Not Denver. You're up in Colorado.
You know what's wonderful about coaching? You can have more than one home.
Are you going to social? Do you ever go to social media?
You know my better half here, Claudia?
Hi, Claudia.
What he said, what did you guys want to drink? So what do you want to drink?
I like Smith & Kearns. It's
well, we have a variety of beer, very good beer.
I love beer. I can drink beer. I think I have a beer tonight.
Ballast Point, Arrogant Bastard, just all kinds of really good stuff.
Where are you in San Diego right now?
We're over by right now Rancho Santa Fe.
Yeah.
On there, and it was how hot was it? How warm was it?
It wasn't too bad today. It was only about 76, I think.
76, a little cool. Actually, I have a sad story. I hurt my wrist the other day adjusting the air conditioner.
What is that big social media thing down there? It's on the carrier. It's huge.
Yeah. It was a week ago.
Was it already had it? I thought it was in April.
They have them all the time here. But Gary Vaynerchuk was here 2 weeks ago. That's
right. You ever go to those?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is, they're filling up. They sold it out. They actually sold out. I forget the name of it now. It was 3 days, and it was sold out months
on
in
the
advance.
aircraft carrier, right? It's like
People paid a couple $1,000 each for it.
Yeah, John Lee Dumas goes to that. Social Media Examiner.
There you go.
They got another one coming up.
Yeah, got a boogie, guys.
Hey, thank you. Have a good time in San Diego. Take care. Hey, go and watch Common Sense sometime down there.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Claude. It's really nice to have Claude on. That was a treat to have him come up tonight.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Hey, Mike, real fast on the show, just 10 minutes, and let me do the recording. But I don't care about this part. This part's just talk. Let's bring anybody else in.
No, my fault. The way you were talking, I'm thinking, oh man, I got to hit record. So
no, yeah, it was good stuff. Maybe I will use that. It'll be eclectic tonight. I think it was a good show, even though it's got a crappy name.
Man, do you see that? Are you getting the same thing when you want to accept somebody? You click and then you have to go over to the left and hit.
Yep. They've been doing that for a few days.
Okay. So that, yeah. So
I
was trying to let Nathan on here, and I kept deleting him, trying to figure out how to get him on here.
Yeah, I know. I could give you lessons. Hi, Nathan.
Sorry about that.
Hi. Yeah, it's funny with Blab. I mean, they changed the way that you can let people in, and it confused.
It was before you just click the button and you were on. Now you got to move around.
I know, it was so much easier before.
Maybe they don't trust you. They don't trust people as hosts. They said, "Are you absolutely sure? Go over here and click this button now." After you're done,
you see the information on them too. And I was reading earlier, Mike. So Nathan, what? How do you want to? Is coaching a scam?
Obviously not. I mean, there's scams everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
But I posted in the comments earlier. I've been really fortunate. I wound up meeting a bunch of coaches to do with NLP in Australia, and received some of the best coaching I've ever had in my life. And one of the things that you were talking about earlier was timeline therapy, and the particular thing that we were doing was timeline therapy. And one of the things that happened is I'd been suffering from a bullying problem my entire life. With timeline therapy, we were able to literally to dissolve it. For the first time in my life, I actually feel like a normal human being. I don't have to worry about the problems of this anymore. So in terms of coaching, yeah. And I've had other coaches over the years who have been fabulous.
Are they life coaches?
Yeah, I would think so. Well, these guys from Australia, and to do with the NLP, I would imagine you would call them life coaches. The one that I had years ago was to do with internet marketing, and he turned out to be a stand-up guy. He was amazing. He helped me so much. So from my perspective, no, it's not a scam. Are there people who will scam you? Yes. Due diligence is the key, in my opinion.
So what is your business? I'm looking online.
Well, my thing is, my core thing is I show people how to end suffering. How to end mental suffering. That's what I'm about. Where I come from is freelance writing.
Nice.
Working as a writer for magazines, computer graphics and photography for the last 18 years. But I'm transitioning out of it into my whole purpose is I call it end all wars by ending the war within. So if you end your suffering from within, you won't need to engage in that kind of activity with people outside of yourself. So that's what I'm about.
Don't you find that too? I mean, sometimes when people lash out, it's not so much the person who's lashing out; it's what's going on internally.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, that's
I
been
hope
my.
You're not watching the American Republican debates too closely right now.
I'm not an American, so no.
It was. I know you're in Columbia, right? BC.
Actually, no. I'm in Mexico. I'm in Ensenada.
Oh, really? I was looking at your cover on Twitter, and it's really a pretty cover. There, cover of the picture. Is that Ensenada, the water? The
Actually, no. That picture is the coast on La Paz, further down in the Bajas. It's an anomaly down there. It's the only point of the Baja that actually goes west, and you can see the ocean in that way, and the land and so on. It's an unusual place. But no, that's from La Paz.
That's a nice
traveler. Yeah, thank you. It's one of my favorite places.
So you actually do you work while you travel?
Yes.
Interesting. How do you do it?
Well, that would, I mean, in terms of writing, I learned a technique for marketing myself. And It would be the topic of a longer conversation. I'd be happy to chat with you one-on-one about it. But basically, I was trained by a guy a number of years ago to do with marketing. And he taught me how to write, and I learned about joint ventures. I learned about marketing for magazines. I've written for magazines all over the world.
Yeah. Freelance.
Yeah, freelance. And he just showed me what to do, and I followed his instructions, and here we are.
Now, that was somebody outside the internet marketing, correct?
What's that?
Outside the internet marketing realm?
Yes and no. I mean, internet marketing is involved with it. Everything I do is online.
Mm-hmm.
The wonderful part about this is you don't need a physical location. You just need a good internet connection, a laptop, and away you go.
I just put a link in. You're welcome anytime to come up and do, it's about a 30-minute interview for Timelines. And we can talk in more detail of what you do and how you evolved in your background.
Yeah, sure. Be happy to.
It's Timelines interviews. I've done 200 some odd.
Wow.
Really variable of people. All I ask is, do you have, it sounds like you got a pretty good mic there.
Thank you. And that, and I've given a number of testimonials on this. The microphone comes to me courtesy of a guy that I know on Udemy. His name is Alan Hill. Uh-huh. And previous to this, I had a Samson Meteor mic, but it picked up all the background noise. It was terrible. This particular mic is an iRig mic MIC HD. And it's turned out to be a fabulous microphone. I just love it. So,
no, the sound is good.
Thank you.
Good.
iRig mic.
Yeah, iRig, IRIG, then mic, MIC HD.
HD, is it got a number on it?
No, it's just, I'm just looking at it right now. It's just, it just says on it at the top, IRIG, and then mic, MIC, and then HD. That's what it's called.
Right. All right. It's looking. Yeah, it varies in price. I was looking.
Yeah, it's I think about 128, 140 thereabouts. Maybe
sounds good though. I always like to listen to different microphones. You can really hear. If somebody has a good mic, I'd much rather interview somebody with a good mic than not.
Yeah, they have another version of this for the desktop. Mine, I have it mounted on a mic stand with a boom. So I got that because I wanted that kind of flexibility. But you can get it with, there's a different version of the microphone that I saw it a while ago, and it's something for the desktop. I think with something like that, you'd probably have to use a shock mount, but I'm not sure about that. This one I don't, because it's sitting on a stand, which is independent of the table where I'm sitting.
Is it IK Multimedia iRig mic?
Yes, absolutely.
Handheld condenser mic it's a condenser mic. So you have to still have a quiet room.
Not the one that I've got. I mean, I've been operating in a fair bit of noise in the background where I've been, and it's actually been really good. I mean, when Alan demonstrated it, hold on a sec. Let me pull it out so you can actually see what I've got.
I'm looking at it right now. I see it on. I'm going to put this link in here.
This is the one that Alan recommended. That's right.
You know, it's funny. I've been looking for something to work with the iPhone, the iPad.
Yep.
And maybe even pick up some audience here because we're doing a lot of work with the iPhone S Plus for clients. It's amazing the video you can get out of that iPhone.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, there's a guy you might want to check out. His name is Mike Kienigs. Mm-hmm. Koenigs. He's a video guy. And I've watched him do videos with walking with the iPhone on a stick and a Lavalier microphone. And it's been pretty amazing, the quality that he's gotten with that thing.
This is interesting here. High definition handheld microphone for iPad. Interesting. So very good. So on coaching, you've traveled, you write, and you've been coached. How many times have you gone through coaching?
Many times over the years. I mean, it depends on how you want to define it. I mean, some of what I've experienced is coaching, some of it's been counseling. So I have a hard time defining it at times. The stuff with the guys from Australia, definitely coaching. And the ironic part about it is that these two guys from this outfit in Australia, they've also become fans of mine because of what I'm doing. And they've been helping me and giving me all sorts of feedback back and forth and helping them as well. And these guys are amazing. They're really, really good at what they do. It was the way that I found them was through a video that one of the guys had done online. And when I saw the video, it was I think it was called From Self-Sabotage to Self-Made Millionaire. And when I watched it, it gave me so much valuable information and one of the things with these guys is that they give you an opportunity for an introductory 1-hour coaching session. I took them up on it, and that's how this whole thing got started.
If you don't mind, how much does coaching generally cost? Mike, you said you got coached too. How much you get spent?
You know, it really depends with who you're with. Like years ago, when I had this marketing coach, I wound up buying a program. It was, for me at the time, $650. That was about 10 years ago. With these guys out of Australia, it's about $200 an hour. So
wow, that's expensive, but it must be really good.
It is expensive, but you know, it really depends on who you talk to. I mean, some of the other coaches I've been to, like I was working with a Zen teacher a number of years ago, and our sessions would be about an hour to an hour and a half, and they were $150 a piece.
You know, I was reading about executive coaching in the corporate world, and that's a really interesting business model because basically the corporations or the HR people are recommending coaches for people who are having problems in the corporation.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, if you've got a really good coach, I mean, the people who really know what they're doing, they can help you so much, because one of the problems that people have, not just in corporations, but elsewhere, is that they're too close to the problems. They're too close to whatever it is that's going on. It's like the old expression, you can't see the forest for the trees. And it's just a really common problem. And you get someone from the outside. It's like there was a situation, without getting into all the details, but I remember talking to this guy who told me that he was having all these problems with his kids and this and that. And I wound up being able to spend some time with this person in the environment where the kids were and to see the dynamics. And within 15 minutes, I knew what the problem was. It wasn't the kids, it was him. And but I couldn't tell him that because I knew he would not be able to hear me. So I just looked at the environment. I thought, this is not a good place for me, and I left.
Right.
But I knew what the problem was. It was really obvious. And
well, there is that saying, and when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Well, in this case, the student might have thought he was ready, but he actually wasn't.
Well,
and I knew better. There are times like when you walk into a situation where you know what's wrong, and you also know it's not your place to tell people or to educate them or to try and fix it.
Sure.
Because part of what I'm talking about, actually, which has been a major problem for many people, is boundaries and knowing when to speak and when not.
That is, maybe kind of put a bow on this, Nathan. If you want to put a link or where people can reach you, at least we'll have that on here.
Yeah,
sure. I'll put a link to.
I don't know what time zone you're, but I'm Eastern time zone, so it's 10.
Mike, it's getting past your bedtime. See, it's early here. It's 7 p.m. What time is it there? 11, 7, 8, 9, 10? 8, 9,
where
10, 11?
Where I'm at?
No, where Mike is.
It's 10.
Well, it's 10. You're not East Coast.
10 Eastern.
7,
Yep,
8,
I'm Eastern.
10. Yeah, it's 10. Okay, 10 o'clock. Yeah.
I'm Pacific, so it's like 7 o'clock here.
Yeah, you guys, your day's still going. So
Mike, same time, same place next week. I'm going to stay on a few more minutes, and I know I appreciate you coming on. I think it'll be a good show when it'll be up tomorrow morning on the podcast.
Yeah, I just want to leave you. I know Nathan was talking about more kind of like life coaching. I mean, my situation was in the business coaching world. I wish I would have done it many, many years. I was very reluctant. Thought I could have figured it all out myself. Probably, and I've read many, many business coaching books. I'm going to put the link in here. I'm an advocate of the Sandler system, and this book here it's really interesting. You can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar. I would put it up. There's one of the top sales training books that are out there. And what Bill was asking, the Sandler is they're located in your community. It's where you're actually sitting down with the coach. And I want to say, what was it? It was $9,000. Yeah, it was $9,000. And it was the best 9,000 I I'd ever spent.
Really? I know you've done well. Was this before you transitioned to the Mike makes his money?
No, this
digitally,
was
too.
the result of. I mean, this happened. I went there first, and then got to this aspect of internet marketing.
Hit a little commercial real fast of what you do, Mike. Mike is 10 or 12 years, has stopped your traditional life insurance, which you really love and you like what you do and you help people. But you transitioned away from the face-to-face to developing the online, like 10, 12 years ago.
Not quite that. 2008 was when I started online marketing and figured out, I wanted to, and the reason for doing it was I said, I got to figure out a way how to sell life insurance online. I said, I can get in front of a lot more people and I don't have to be wasting hours upon hours sitting in parking lots waiting to go on the next appointment when the person wasn't home. And I felt comfortable helping people. It wasn't my world to get into the CEO in the big ticket. I felt that I could do more with helping the person with the $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 policy that can, in my experience now, where I've had clients pass away, is a major amount of money when they lose, the breadwinner. They lose, their spouse. So I've been able to do that. I had a couple very nice leads that came in today as a result of my videos. I did a lot of it through YouTube videos. So that's kind of where I found how to get it to work. I do hundreds of YouTube videos.
Awesome. I love YouTube.
So
You do YouTube? You have YouTube links?
Well, no, they're not, because what I do is I research long tail keywords, and then I make the video I optimize the video to coincide with or to complement the long tail keyword. So it's not on a channel. It's all on my channel because they're all there, but I don't send people to the channel. They're searching that long tail keyword and then they find me. So they're not having to go anywhere. They're sitting at the computer figuring out I need life insurance, and then they find a video that I titled "I Need Life Insurance" and they find me. So it's a process, but it works. So yeah. So with that, hey, I appreciate it. Hey, Nathan, thanks for jumping in here. Bill, I think we had a good show here, and I'll probably see you tomorrow on the WordPress show.
Yeah, tomorrow morning we'll be reviewing 3 WordPress sites, and I don't think we have any special guests on tomorrow. We do. I think someone's coming on. Jonathan's squaring that away. Nathan, what I do is I do a podcast 7 days a week.
Yep.
And I've got it on the same RSS feed, but it's actually on separate RSS feeds too. And tomorrow's show is WP Tonic.
Yeah.
And developers came to me to create the podcast, and it's actually ranked 7th now worldwide in its category, but it's been as high as 2.
Nice.
Check it tonight. So it's a fun show. We're talking about podcast design really right now.
Okay.
Graphics.
So what time are you on?
Sorry, at 9:00 Pacific. Jonathan didn't win.
Okay.
If you go to Timelines, I'm just playing around.
I did actually. I went to Timelines and I left a comment for you with my phone number and stuff.
Okay.
And sure, I'd be happy to join you on your show tomorrow morning.
But if you come out into Timelines, but tomorrow is not you do a regular interview. A Timelines interview is my traditional show.
Oh, okay.
It's just you and I.
Oh, okay.
It's for about 30 minutes, and we open it up on Blab. I'm thinking about going back to Skype. You ever use Skype? Skype with call recorder or Skype?
Yeah, actually, there's a really great piece of software for Skype which I use called VodBurner.
Yeah, I'm familiar with VodBurner.
Oh, you are? Do you have it?
No, I've never used it, but I know a lot of guys that talk about it.
Because I actually have it, and I can use it on my system if you like. But yeah, sure. I mean, however you want to work together, I'm fine with it.
Is VodBurner only for a PC, I think?
It's also for Mac.
It works for Mac.
It's
free on Mac.
They recently introduced it for Mac. I think it's about $100 for the software. But the thing about it is you set it up for side-by-side video, and you can also output in a number of different resolutions. You can output it as an MP4. You can output separate WAV files. It's a pretty nice piece of software.
It sounds like you got your stuff down. Have you done a podcast?
Yes, I've got one. I've got 3.
Wow, what are they?
Well, how would I even give them to you?
Just tell me. Oh, I could look you up. I could. You know what?
Well,
if I go to iTunes like this, a little lesson here. If you go to iTunes and if you set it up right when you put your feed in,
yeah.
And Mike had to take off his light.
I see that.
Give me your first name, last name again.
It's Nathan, Nath. Hold on a second. Let me just type it in.
A.N. Nathan.
Hold on. Let me type it in the comments here.
Last name?
Siegel, like that. Yeah. So, I've got two for sure. I've got one for End All Wars by Ending the War Within. That's brand new. The other one is nathansiegel.info. And I've posted not a whole bunch, but some. I've decided to really focus on ending the war within because that's where I really want to go. That's where, because one of these things, it's a podcast to do with internet marketers, actually. And one of the ones that I interviewed lately was Michael Fortin. And Michael Fortin is the guy who wrote the first $1 million in a day sales letter. And so that's a really good interview.
The inner piece, the blog business success. No, that's somebody else.
Yeah.
The inner piece is yours, though, right?
Yep, that's me.
An online learning podcast. No, that's somebody else. So I got one of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I would send it to you. Hold on a second, because
Watch this. I just well, if I go here,
and
you go copy a link. If you can go up onto iTunes, you can go to copy link and you can paste it like this. That's your the inner piece through.
Yeah, I was going to go to my. Hold on a second here.
See, I'm playing one right now.
I was looking.
Can't hear it.
I was looking at this earlier. Just bear with me a second because I was looking at my account on Apple, and
I like the idea of the picture and just put some. You should put a title on that though. You should just flip. You have a Mac, iMac, or Mac?
no, I don't. I've got a PC. Sorry to disappoint.
With Mac, you can just take a picture, right click it, and put text right on it, and then save it.
Nice.
It's really fast.
I don't have that luxury so much on the PC. Hold on a second here. So I know where I can get this information for you here. So
go to well, if you have iTunes.
I'm actually in the process of signing into iTunes Connect. So if you could just bear with me a minute or two here, I'll be able to get the information for you. Just I haven't done this very much, so I'm not super conversant at it. Just bear with me a minute. Should be able to get it for you. Okay. Signing me in on iTunes Connect, and it tells me what all my podcasts are. Okay. Great, I can see them. Okay, here's one. I hope I'm doing this correctly. I'll find out. So that's Legends of Online Marketing. And End All Wars by Ending the War Within. And that's a brand new one that I just put up a few days ago.
Okay, you just brought up code on that last link. That's just the feed.
Oh,
that's the feed.
What are you
you show that other one I brought up? Oh, that's the same thing. I did the same thing. Wait a second. No, look at the one I brought up.
Yeah, I see
what it does. The other ones are the feeds.
Oh,
see, it says feed on there.
Yeah, I see that.
That's your RSS? That's actually the code to the RSS feed.
Oh boy, I wish I knew.
That's real code. I could drop that in a website right now under code.
I'm sorry, I'm not very conversant at this thing. Right.
That's okay. The best way. Are you on iTunes?
I'm on iTunes Connect. Let me let me open iTunes. Bear with me a minute here. Sorry, I thought I knew of a way to give it to you, and obviously I don't. Like I said, I'm not very conversant with this, so
go up on iTunes.
I'm working on it. I've clicked on the link. I'm just waiting for it. Sometimes software on my computer is rather slow.
You got a good internet connection though, and your sound is great. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my internet connection is good. No complaints.
What does it cost down there for internet?
You know something? I really don't know because I haven't had to pay for my internet separately down here for a long time. But it's roughly, I think the last time I checked was maybe 400 or 500 pesos a month, which would be, I'm just trying to think, maybe about $30 thereabouts.
Are you on your iPhone right now?
I don't have an iPhone.
You're doing it on a computer, right?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop. And
So that mic,
iTunes just came up for me. So where do I need to go here?
okay, go into iTunes. Let me do this real fast myself. So if I go into iTunes, you go on the right-hand side under iTunes Store, just type in the name of your show. Give me the name of your show, see if I can find it.
I've
I've got The Inner Peace. What's the other one?
End All Wars by Ending the War Within.
End
All Wars by Ending the War Within.
Search End All Wars.
Yep.
And there's quite a few podcasts in that category. So I'll go do a little bit more.
By Ending
the
the War Within.
I found it.
Okay.
I think. Okay, what you need to do on this, is this you? Does it have a boot on it?
That's the one.
Okay, you need to add your name to this. So you want your name to show anytime you want to search your name.
Oh, I have no idea how to do any of that.
So go into iTunes. What do you use to put up your podcast? What service?
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
Yeah.
I'm not as good in Blueberry. Blueberry will help you out. You just want to add your name to all your shows. So people just put in your name and then all your shows will pop up on iTunes.
Great. I have no idea how to do that. I'll have to go into Blueberry.
You go to iTunes under search and type in Bill Conrad and see what you get. 4 shows. You should be close to 4. Let me see what it is now.
Go to iTunes.
So I've got this. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put this in for you. So I found this one. How long have you been making podcasts?
Not that long. No,
it
not
sounded
that long at all.
You gotta get,
I had actually started doing it for one show. I deactivated the show because I realized I was going in the wrong direction. I started the first time about a year and some ago, but that was with my other microphone, and I really didn't like the sound. This microphone is gold. I love it.
It is. It sounds so good.
I'm astonished. You have no idea how many times I've gotten complimented on my audio since I started doing blabs a while ago. I hear this on almost every blab, if you can believe it.
This is a $52 mic. It's not bad. ATR 2100. That's what I recommend. Basic. This is a $350 mic.
Is that the Rode?
But this one is really, huh?
Is that the Rode that you've got?
That's the Heil.
Oh,
yeah, this
okay.
is the Heil, and this is the ATR 2100. But your mic is just really rich. How far away is it from you?
Well, hold on a sec.
Good.
This much? About
You should have
8
it
inches,
in
maybe?
the picture a little bit.
What's that?
You bring it over so it's in the picture.
Yeah, sure. I'll hold it up for you again.
So you took it out.
Yeah. So this.
Move it closer to you. I want to hear the sound as it gets closer.
Sure. Well, I mean, if I get too close.
Sorted there.
So
Pull it back.
yeah. So pulling it back to where it was on my stand is about here, a little bit.
So you got to balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. What happened was with this whole thing, which made an enormous difference, is I was on a blab with a couple of audio guys who were really up on this stuff, and they were giving me instructions while we were live with my mic and helping me set it up so I would get a really good sound. And I just love blab. My whole life has opened up because of doing this. I mean, so many awesome friends online. And I'm actually going to be meeting one of them maybe in the next couple of weeks, who was my co-host on a show that I was running on Google Hangouts on Air.
Mm-hmm.
And he became a really good friend very fast. And it's just, this digital universe online, this streaming stuff is amazing.
It is changing the world fast. And
For
it's
me-
happening. So Blab didn't exist last year.
No, I know. It only came on the scene, July or whatever it was, or April?
I
or
just read an
whatever.
article.
Yeah,
I just read an article yesterday.
yeah.
Says there's going to be 100,000 jobs opening up in this field.
Yeah,
Real.
I
Real
can
big
believe it. I
corporation.
mean, well, one of the things that happened is because of what I really want to do, I wound up meeting a celebrity on Blab a while ago. His name is Tim Gillette. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I do know Tim Gillette. I can't. I know that name.
Rock something to do with motorcycles and helping people. Anyway, I ran into him. I know he's got a radio show with millions of listeners. And one day, well, just a few days ago, actually, he was doing a show. I noticed he was on. I thought, oh, Tim's on. So I joined the show, and he had an open seat, and I popped in and talked about technology for a little bit. And then it dawned on me who I was sitting with. And then I asked him for some help with my direction. which is my ultimate goal is to have a television show and a radio show probably, where I'm talking to people about, well, ending suffering in the world. And I know what the root cause is. It's really obvious to me. But, in the wake of the Paris thing, it was everybody's saying the same old crap. And so long as we keep thinking that way, this problem is never going to end. But I know what to do. The question is, I need to get in front of an audience, a big audience. And in that big audience, there will be people who have influence, who have a certain amount of power, and they can help and spread the word. It's like, look, we don't have to kill ourselves off here. There's another way to live. But anyway, Tim told me what to do, how to get the visibility. And he gave me very specific advice.
Let's talk about that when you come on the show, that mission. We'll talk the first 10 minutes just about that experience and what you want to do.
Sure.
And a little bit about your background. But I want to talk about that, then we'll go into your background later. Then in my show, I also asked, in the middle part, I asked through 3 life and success principles and like a favorite book. And then finally, how you meet you. And then I go blab for a while. I think we can use blab with you. It's so good. Now, I'm scheduling evening times now as opposed to the morning so I can work in the morning.
Not a problem.
I'm trying to actually make a living online for the first time. I was 31 years active in reserve. I was in Afghanistan 40 months.
Holy shit. And you're still alive. Holy, wow.
Civil military operations.
Wow.
I worked between the State Department and the Army, and basically from keeping civilians alive to support to civil military operations, refugee control.
Wow.
Providing governance for 4 provinces as a lieutenant colonel. And going into the provinces and helping them set up their governments.
Have you had trouble with PTSD since you got back?
Only for my last tour. When I got back from my last tour, about 6 months from my last tour, I was kind of whacked out. I couldn't forget things I'd seen over the last 4 tours.
Yeah.
It sort of, when I realized I wasn't going back, I think it affected me for about 6 months, but that went away. I mean, every hour I would think about some of the incidents that happened, one in particular.
Yeah.
So what, if you don't mind, we finish up tonight, in a nutshell, what is it to prevent? No soldier wants war, first of all.
No, the number one problem outside of the way that we think, which causes our pain, is that we must stop blaming other people for our problems. It's the only way.
I like that answer.
It's the only way. And it's what I finally realized, that it's the root cause of all of this crap. We've got to take responsibility for our own, the way that we think. The way that we think is causing our problem. We're thinking that someone's doing something to us, that they've done something to us. And maybe there was an initial cause of something, but it's our thoughts that are causing the pain. And if we can look at what's happening, like, see, how do I put it? I've been on a whole bunch of Facebook groups, and I was talking to them about self-inflicted suffering, but I was also talking about something I learned from a spiritual teacher. Her name is Byron Katie. And one of the things I realized is that if you get to a point in an abusive situation where you know that you can leave, or that you think you might be able to leave, or blah, 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 and you stick around, and you're participating in your own suffering. And what it means, you're not 100% innocent. You may have been at the very beginning when you didn't have any awareness at all. But the moment you get some awareness and you still stick around, you're still doing whatever, you're participating in your own suffering, you're continuing it. And the day that I realized, like in a very abusive situation for most of my life, that I was actually, see, most people don't realize this. They don't realize that they're creating their own pain. And one of the ways that they get trapped is they have this illusion that they can fix it. And in most cases, they can't. They can make it worse, but they can't fix it. And when you realize that you're in this thing, you're causing your own pain by trying to fix a problem that isn't even yours to begin with, the day that you realize what you're doing, that's the day that you have a choice. Do I stay here and keep putting up with this crap, or do I get the hell out? And I take responsibility for my own life. I stop blaming the people, because I'm causing my own suffering by putting myself in the position to let these people abuse me. And I'm not going to let myself make myself suffer by staying in this environment. And I'm not going to let these people do what they do. And so when you take responsibility, you realize what you've been doing, how you've been tricking yourself mentally, then you can get out. But people have to have that bit of awareness. The moment they have that bit of awareness, That's where the end of the story is. But if they don't have it, if they believe that the abuser is 100% at fault, they're going to be victims forever. Then the moment they realize that even the tiniest bit that they're contributing to it, that's the beginning of freedom.
Nathan, can you give me your email address, and I'll send you an email real fast.
Sure. Do you want me to type it in on the side here?
Or you need to do that. You can type it in and I'll just copy it. That's fine. I'm always interested in how we can have peace. That's an important thing.
There are a lot of ways. And like for me, the major thing that happened a year ago is when I went through, I was modeling Eckhart Tolle, and I had a massive transformation. And when it happened, my thinking processes dropped by 80 to 90%. And when I stopped thinking, peace naturally came up. But then baggage from my past came back. And I had to start dealing with it. And I invented some ways of dealing with it, and I got coaching for the rest of it. And what I found is that as that baggage in my mind, as that mental baggage was eliminated, peace naturally arose in the absence of the stories, or the absence of the mental stuff that was going on. And beyond that, I developed techniques of my own to show people how they can actually experience peace. It's natural to everybody, but most people don't know this. And it wasn't until I went through this that I was actually able to see it. And now I've done a lot. I always ask the people what their life and success principles are.
Yeah. And one thing that comes up often by some of the people I respect is live within the moment.
It's true. Absolutely true. If you're in the present moment, you can't suffer.
Yeah, they worry. That stops worrying too. You think right now, what am I doing now to?
Yeah, it's always the story. It's always the thinking process that's causing suffering. People say, like I've heard other people say, oh, it's the emotions. No. Not in my opinion, not my experience. Thinking is what causes the emotion to begin with. If you're not thinking, there won't be emotions. You won't have them. You'll be at peace. It's my direct experience. People have different opinions, but from my own direct experience, no. Thinking causes suffering. It's that simple. You can learn how to think differently. You can reduce suffering that way, but ultimately to eliminate suffering completely, when you stop thinking, suffering ends. It's that easy. Or not necessarily that easy, but it's that direct. And I know it from firsthand experience.
I just dropped it in. Something weird happened. I just dropping in. I don't know what I dropped in.
What?
Never had that happen. I was sending an email and something, it's just strange. Never had that one happen. I just dropping in a link on an email and saying good talking to you to make sure I did it again. Crazy.
I don't see an email yet, but I guess I will.
Well, I will send one. I just had the link wasn't, I've never seen that happen. I love Gmail.
I use it all the time. What can I say?
Gmail is so nice because I've got some systems. I got your, I just requested like a LinkedIn.
I see it.
Link
I see that. And I just accepting it right now. It's so cool to connect with you this evening. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good that I'm happy you popped up. I have met some very people I'd never met before because of this contact.
Yeah.
And I interview people. I've interviewed all sorts of different types of people. I've interviewed coaches, philosophers. The very first interview I did with my uncle, who's 96, was at Guadalcanal in P-39s.
Wow.
And he did real well. He had a great life. Huh? P-39s.
That's a fighter aircraft, is it not?
Yeah, it was a low wing. They gave him all the Russians. He was in flight school when Pearl Harbor hit, and he was the first relief in the Pacific. Wow. He flew P-39s initially. People don't realize that. He also had P-40s and then P-38s.
Yeah, I knew about the P-40s, the Warhawk.
Yeah,
I'm a major fan of Second World War. My favorite aircraft of the Second World War is the P-51.
That was the best aircraft.
Yeah, I fell in love with that thing a long time ago.
Yeah, long range escorts and all that.
Yep, all of the above. Yeah, There
are a lot of good aircraft back then. There were a lot of amazing aircraft. The Spitfire is a good one, P-38, the P-51, those were the top fighters.
Yeah, I'm a major fan of the Spitfire too. The elliptical wing is really amazing.
Pretty plain.
Yeah, I don't know how they came up with that, but that's really cool.
So I just sent that link again just to make sure I had your email.
Okay, hold on.
I do have to get going. I really enjoyed the conversation tonight. It's good to have good sound.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I got the link that you sent over with the request to join LinkedIn, and I responded to that. Is that the one that you meant by sending it over?
I did LinkedIn too, and I just sent another one with the Timelines interview application
I
again.
don't see it. I'm not.
I just sent it. Let me try it again.
Oh, hold
See,
on.
Nathan.
Hold on. My mistake. I see it right now. Okay.
I love it. I love Gmail because it brings your picture up. It loads it if you do it right. One thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out how to, I've been working for 2 years, but I'm trying to figure out how to make a living online. I was a reservist, active duty 9 years, reserve, and called back into the war because of some expertise I had. And I decided to stay in and finish my active duty up.
Right.
And it's not enough money. I've got a son who's in the Coast Guard and 2 girls who are 13 and 15. And it's not, I've got to make about twice as much money as my retirement. And I'm trying to see can I do it online instead of going back into design, build, construction. And I make very good money if I work for the government overseas, but I don't want to do that anymore. I live in a beautiful place called Reno, Nevada.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
mountains. I mean, I live in the mountainside, and I want to stay here with my kids and family.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. I'm just filling out the form on your site right now.
If you have any questions, and you can take your time if you want, you can save it too. If just schedule a time now and then go back and fill the form.
Scheduled it already for the 29th of February, Monday.
Okay, he's like, let's see if I get I got a notice already. I got a notice on my phone.
That's so
nice.
cool. So yeah,
That's good.
The interview form. I'll need to look at that. Yeah, it's entirely possible to make a living online. It just depends on what you want to do. I mean, the way that I've been doing it, it's become harder in recent years because of 2008, the crash of 2008. And if you were wanting to do writing, and I mean, that's one of many ways that you can make a living online. I would shortcut your process considerably, and I would say to you, become a copywriter. Learn how to become a copywriter.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard that, but I know copywriting is so important.
It's where you can make well, it's not necessarily where you can make the most money. It's one of the ways. Another way that you can do it, if you learn how to do it well, is to create joint ventures with people. And there are different people who teach you how to do that. Willie Crawford is one. Sohail Khan, I believe, is another. I learned about it years ago when I took that internet marketing course. And I created a joint venture with a software company back in 2006. And that year I made over $100,000 from writing.
Wow. Just writing.
Just writing. Over the course of a 4-year period, I made over $90,000 in royalties from this joint venture. So joint ventures are another way. I have a course that I created on freelance writing, which would show you everything that I know. Everything.
You talked about Udemy.
Udemy is another option too.
Did you make a Udemy course? What did you build it on, the course?
Sorry?
What did you build the course on?
Actually, I built it on my own. I had originally hosted it on my own site, nathansequel.org, and had the videos on YouTube unlisted. I did put it on Udemy, but I didn't get very good results, and it's because of my copywriting. I'm not a very good copywriter. Unfortunately,
there is, but there's a new plugin for WordPress.
Yeah,
it's called Lifter LMS.
Lifter LMS.
I've done a lot of research in this area. It's free.
Yeah,
and you can hook it up into PayPal for free. What they do is they charge you to make the connections. But I am very impressed with the people associated with this plugin, this company. I'm going to interview them. I've done a lot of research.
Lifter LMS learning. Oh, so it's
a learning management system. It's a plugin for WordPress.
That's interesting because, okay, I know how to build a site. Hold on a second here. Let's back up a moment.
You know how to work with WordPress, right?
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me back up a second. One of the ways that you can do this stuff, I'm a tech guy, right? And I've been writing for magazines for a long time. And one of the things that came my way, like some of the top marketers out there, guys like Frank Kern, for example, okay. He uses a particular theme called Optimize Press. Well,
I'm familiar with Optimize Press. A little old now, though.
True, but they updated it to version 2, and it's got some really nice features in it. Anyway, I use it, and
Optimize Press is definitely, I think, probably the front runner 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's probably not anymore, but
it's a lot like, it's good though. I should have, in retrospect, I probably should have gone with it, but I went something called Genesis Framework.
Oh, I know Genesis. I don't like Genesis anywhere nearly as much. It's not as flexible.
Well, Genesis is nice because it's the framework, and then you put your child themes on top of it, so it stabilizes the WordPress. I've got 22 sites, and I've only had 2 failures in 22 sites where I've had to go and recover them.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because the Genesis is so stable and so well designed for security.
Yeah.
And Optimize Press, anytime you get a real customized, now Optimize Press is really good. That's that was the best thing the last few years. But problem is it could have some security leaks because it's so customized.
Well, then I can help you on that as well. Not kidding. One of the magazines I write for is HTML Goodies. And a while ago, I interviewed a guy by the name of Brandon Zundel, who's a friend of mine on the Internet Marketing Super Friends. And we did a very detailed interview on security. And I'd be happy to send you the article that I wrote on it. And he gave me a whole ton of really valuable information. Brandon's marketing a service, I think it's called FortiPress, where he sets up this really intense security system on your site. And actually, like one of the plugins that he recommended is one called WordFence, I think.
I got WordFence on my
But anyway, he recommended this, and I installed it. And this morning I received a message that somebody tried to log into one of my sites using the admin thing and was blocked.
Yeah. WordFence is good. I put that on my sites. You know what I did? I've seen a lot of people scam. You see, this is a terrible name, Weekly Scam. It's a quick site. I built the site one evening.
Weekly Scam.
I'm experimenting with building sets of podcast shows. This is actually will go up on timelines. So the same RSS feed has 7 shows, but a couple of the shows have their separate RSS feed.
Right.
And you think that would deplete it by putting on 2 RSS feeds, but it actually builds the separate one stronger because people find it on the 7-day course and they go and stick on the ones they like.
Interesting. I have to admit, I don't know enough about podcasting. One of the things that Tim Gillette told me, he said, if you really want to create visibility, and he gave me a story of it as well. There's several things he told me. And one of the things was creating a press release. And the other thing was to create a really solid presence to do a half-hour show every day for 30 days straight. Just you.
I've done more than, just one person.
Just one person. And you put those on YouTube, and like some of the things that I'm going to be doing in the next few days is I've got a couple of courses that I got from Alan Hale. He was giving a whole bunch of courses away to those of us who are Udemy instructors. And so he's got a couple of really great courses on optimizing YouTube. So I'm going to be doing that over the next few days. And then once I'm done, I'm going to start doing my shows to do with what I'm about. And I've got tons of material. So the goal is to do like 30 shows. And he told me of a person who actually did that. And this is back in the days of Oprah. And on the 25th day, the Oprah team got wind of it, and this person was invited to a taping of the Oprah show. Where it went beyond that, I don't know. But I really like what he had to say. It just gave me a whole bunch of great information. I just went, wow, thank you. And
you know what I'm experimenting with, which is really kind of neat, is I'm doing I'm convinced that the average person should not podcast right away. They should make a course and they should put it up on YouTube and watch it. Make a series of interviews just on YouTube. And watch
that's not a bad idea. I mean,
just throw them up.
A way to do that is like someone like you or me could go to the folks. See, that's a way that you can make a whole bunch of money for yourself. You could take that idea, which you just came up with. I could show you how to write a pitch if you want. You take that to the folks at Google and say, hey, I'd like to do a show about the ins and outs of YouTube and create an online series with you guys. What do you think?
With Google?
Yeah.
How's that?
Google owns YouTube.
I know, but how do you get to Google to get them to do that?
Oh, you would be surprised. I mean, I've gotten into the door of all sorts of places. It's knowing who to talk to.
How would you like to do a short text series with me? Just experiment. Do maybe 7 shows.
I mean, something like that. Oh God, I actually know how I could do it, but I would see. That's the kind of thing that. I mean, you've given me a fabulous idea. If I wanted to do it, I know I could pull it off.
Let me show you. Let me show you what I've already did last year. I think some of these podcasting, a lot of people, first of all, only 3 to 7% of people make any money podcasting get paid for their media. And it's a lot of work to edit a podcast.
That's interesting. Okay. I haven't really edited mine all that much at all.
I listen to my entire podcast. So I just put Podcasters Home, and I got to set this up more so.
Yeah, I see.
But that was one of I have some regular podcasts on there, but I need to put my link. If you go, where's the links? You go to link and you hit podcast.
Well,
that's not the right link. I've got to go in there and work on that. But what I did was I interviewed 12 of the top podcasters in the country, the trainers, the top people. And after the show was done, I said, could you make a podcast to be profitable based on this, what we talked about how to create a podcast? And it was no, but it was a really good series. And then I took 5 or 7 of those and I put them up on iTunes. I put them up on Timelines, this show.
I know of a way right now where you can make money from that thing. Do you want to hear it?
How?
Simple. You take, how many interviews did you do? 12 of them?
I did 12. They're all on YouTube.
Okay. So what you do is you go to each one of the people that you interviewed and you say, I've got these 12 interviews of all these people, and I want to bundle them together where is it just audio or is it video as well?
I came up with this concept. This is an evolving concept. I'm going to put the link in here.
Sure.
What I did was, no, shoot, is this mixed in with, I thought it was, these are mixed, but here's the theory is you set up, here's my whole thing. If you look at Weekly Scam, that's my system. It's not a scam, but if you look at Weekly Scam, I just dropped in like the YouTube link, and that's not a good one. That's a separate channel where you stuck up these videos. But I should have put up, I guess I mixed them, but in the retrospect, you just put them up in a separate YouTube email address.
Yeah, by the way, Podcasters Home, the link below has a typo in it.
Where on the which one?
Right below your image, it says Podcasters.
Where? Podcasters.
I'm looking at it where I see your image and I see NMG.
Oh, you're looking at the website, right?
I'm looking at the YouTube channel that you sent me here.
Okay, Podcasters. Oh,
you've got an extra S in there. Do you see it? It says Podcasters Home. There's a link right below.
I'm looking at a different place. I'm looking at the link on the bottom right side.
No, if you...
I changed that. I thought, wait a second.
Where you look at the far left directly right under your image on the left side, it says Podcasters.
Oh, that's an easy fix.
I'm sure it is.
I never saw that before. You're the first person to catch that.
Well, what can I say? I mean, I just finished editing a whole bunch of stuff for another woman, so I guess my mind is still in editing mode, and I saw it.
Let me see if I can fix that real fast. I'm not really good at that. By the way, I graduated from West Point, but I have a little bit of dyslexia, so.
Not to worry. It's life. We all have something, or maybe several somethings. But getting back to the thing about what you did with the podcasts, what I would suggest is you bundle them. You create transcripts of all, or what you do is you pitch it to every single one of the people, and you say, I've interviewed all of these people, and what I'd like to do is make you an offer where we'll put together all 12 of these with transcripts, and I'd like you to consider selling all the bundle of 12 to your list for say $97, and we'll do a 50-50 split. What do you say? It's an old tried and true formula. Lots of people have used it over the years and they've made lots of money from it.
Are you going to YouTube for that list?
No. See, what you have is you've got all these people that you've interviewed, and chances are each one of them has a list. So
Right.
what you do is you say to them, I'd like to take all of these interviews. I want to package them together. I want to do transcripts for each one. And and the offer I'd like to make to you is if you were to sell these interviews to your list, I'll do a 50-50 split with you for doing that. And it's a very common thing, but if you don't know about it, you don't know about it. But it's been used by marketers for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And it's a way that you can make money very quickly because you've got everything there. You've got everything you need. Yeah. You just need to talk to all these people and say, hey, I've got an idea. What do you think? And
in fact, Jim Collison, who's on right now, Jim is one of those people in one of the interviews that I originally did, these 12 podcast interviews with people.
Which one?
Hi, Jim.
Which one who joined? Jim?
Jim Collison, yeah.
Jim Collison, yeah. He's the guy with the eye patch?
No. He's to the right of him, the black and white.
Sorry, I didn't hover over the timeline. Jim Collison.
He is from Gallup. In fact, one of my favorite podcasts is I love to listen to the Gallup podcast with the political interviews each week.
I'm following him. I don't know how I don't know how I picked up on him, but I'm following him. So
Jim, I listened to last week's show today while I was running his show. I listened to the show today while I was running. I only listen to select a few podcasts. That's one of the ones I listen to.
Small world. So anyway, that idea about all your content, you can make money online. But part of the challenge is getting creative about it. And there's so many different ways of doing it. There isn't a one way of doing it. I mean, another way of doing it is to put together all of that stuff and create a sales letter around it and sell it that way. That's more involved. But the way that I'm suggesting, where you go back to all these people and you talk to them and you say, what about this? What I'm actually saying to you, that's a joint venture.
Hi, this is Bill. I'm going to
and
you just hit it? Did you just hit one? Oh, you hit that picture?
Yeah, I just joined.
I'm going to redo that. I use ScreenFlow too. I'm going to update those to be. I did that on Blab.
Yeah,
it's 4 minutes to tell people how to do the interview.
Yeah. Sorry, are you talking to your friend Jim?
No, I just sent him see tomorrow because I actually am going to ask him a question tomorrow. I'm seriously contemplating using Skype and call recorder with my guest, really focusing at doing a good podcast, and then go to Blab with a guest right afterward. Sure. And the reason why I'm doing that, I do a show called on Sunday night called Meet the Voter, and I think I need to do a private Meet the Voter podcast, and then just on the website put the Blab up too. The Blab conversations are good, but I want to focus at getting a higher quality podcast again.
Sure, it's your call.
Like I said, I've got like 20 websites, and if they look a lot the same. I wrote with Genesis, you can make a child theme pretty fast. I created my own child theme.
Wow. You're better at that than me. I'm not so good at that because I don't know PHP or JavaScript or anything else.
I've just slowly learned it. It's taught me I can put up a website very fast though.
Cool.
And the other thing I'll tell you where I was looking at making money is this one here. If you go to Weekly Scam, which is really a bad name.
I actually like it. And there's a guy, hold on a second here. I'm going to
talk. Yeah.
Give me a second here. I want to find, there's a really interesting dude online. I'm just trying to see because, just bear with me a minute. Because this guy could really be useful to you with what you're doing. And interestingly enough, I wrote a book a number of years ago about online fraud. And hold on a second. There are a couple of things. Yeah.
You got to come back up on the show and talk about that book.
Well, it's something I did a number of years ago, but hold on a second here. So I'm going to paste a link into our chat here. This turned out to be a really free or far-reaching, free, whatever. This guy, Graham Cluley, he's follows up on a lot of scams. He's out of the UK. He's got some really excellent stuff.
Well, he'd be good to interview.
There's another guy that I really want to his name is JJ Luna. And he is the world, I would consider him the number one world expert on privacy. And he wrote a book several years ago called How to Be Invisible. And he tells you literally how to get off the radar. There's another book. Hold on a second here. Jeez, sorry, my mind has just gone nuts with a few ideas, but there are a few things I want to give you here. There's one book. Let me see if I can get the site up first. Yeah, perfect. This is the link that I'm going to share with you right now is highly controversial. It's for a tax book in Canada. And it literally tells you how to get off the radar of the IRS. You could get off the radar of the IRS and the CRA. It's totally, it's really, some people might call it black or gray hat, but you're using legal methods to do it. So, but I know about this, and I actually, I was actually promoting this guy's book through social media. And this is one of the best books that you could ever buy as far as tax goes in Canada. And there's another really good site that I want to send you to as well that I discovered when I was dealing with online scams. And it helped me so much because it's like one of the best sites I've ever seen for dealing with scams. So
these are great links. I will put these in the show notes tonight.
And one more. Fraud Aid is brilliant. I mean, when I was dealing with some online scammers who were trying to royally screw me, this site, Fraud Aid, told me everything I needed to know.
Wow.
And allowed me to eliminate these people from my life. It's a really good site.
Wow, that looks like a good. How do these guys make money doing this?
Well, let me think. With a site like Fraud Aid,
okay, they got some advertisement on the right side.
Sure, advertising would be part of it. I'm willing to bet they sell books. I haven't tried to.
Yeah, they got a little bit of.
See, they have partner sites: Next Web Security, Scam Victims United, Romance Scams.org.
They got a lot of connections.
Yeah, there's an excellent chance that they're doing JVs, although it doesn't say here exactly what they're doing. It's a nonprofit agency, so it's hard to say. The fastest way to find out? Write to them and ask them.
Yeah, you just ask people.
Yeah, why not?
You just ask them on the show, and then we had, like Coach. I'd love to have. Here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm experimenting with this.
And
I can put
JJ Luna is a really good person to talk to. I mean, he sells a ton of products.
JJ Luna,
I put the link in there for it. JJ Luna, his first name is Jack, actually.
I will go back over all these links. It's really nice and go back and get these links. And I'll put them in my show notes just to keep them there in the record for today.
Yeah, JJ Luna is a really amazing guy. Really amazing. He knows his stuff. He's probably the only person alive right now who has his kind of knowledge. When he goes, there's going to be a huge void because he learned his tradecraft, as they would call it in the spy trade, during the time of Franco's reign in Spain. And
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he had a chance meeting with one of the secret police who told him what to do.
When I was young, I was a special forces officer.
Okay, so
I've read about him or heard of him. That's Green Beret when I was young.
Yep.
My first time on active duty.
Wow.
I'm sure happy I wasn't I was still a special forces officer, but I wasn't doing the same thing. These young kids who are team leaders, they're team leaders. There's 25. I was 24 when I was an A team leader.
Wow.
And those kids, what they do, leading small teams into on raids, especially in Afghanistan, is just unfathomable.
I can't even imagine. I've never been involved with the with the military. I mean, the closest I came to it is through my parents, and my father was in the Air Force during the Second World War, but I was never involved with the military myself, so I really don't know. I can't claim anything about that at all.
I
mean, I'm from Canada, and up until I forget when, I had never heard of my country being involved in a war in my life until something happened in what was it, Iraq, and one of our prime ministers sent over a bunch of planes.
In Afghanistan, they had quite a few Canadians in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Do you have something on, or is that me?
No, there's nothing on. Everything's quiet here.
It's definitely me. I've got one of my windows must be open because I'm getting noise coming in from somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm checking all my tabs. I don't want to close too many down.
Yeah, everything's quiet on my end. It's not a problem.
That is so weird. I wonder what it is. Unless I'm getting a cross feed off a Blab. Jim, any thoughts? I'm hearing another Blab or something. I never had this one happen. There's a really good show tomorrow morning that Jim Collison is on. It's Ask the Podcast Coach. Ask the Podcast Coach. I can't even talk. Ask the Podcast Coach. It's on at 7:30 Pacific.
Okay. Well, I'm up early, so I might check into it, and I could check into the one that you've got at 9 as well.
What? Nothing here. Well, Jim, what? Well, now the show is a scam. What? Anyway,
I think your friend is taking the piss,
He's on the show. He does a good job. I haven't seen him. He wasn't on last week, though, I don't think. You're going to be on tomorrow?
How come he hasn't jumped into the open seat? It seems obvious that he's taking the piss. It's a British expression. It's the ruder version of the two. There's taking the piss, and then there's taking the Mickey, which, in other words, it means you're bugging the shit out of him. And that's my interpretation.
I know. I've been around British. True story. I went to Sandwich Cadet. I got stuck on my last tour at a high-level headquarters running human train team systems. And I had a colonel. I had a Fulberg colonel, equivalent to him, but he was still my boss, who was British intelligence or from the British. He's a wing commander, so he's their Air Force equivalent.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's my boss, and they're so polite and so British. And I spent a year embedded with the French. I'll take the French any day. I love the French. French are rougher, and they're just more. They're fun. It's hard to explain.
I have no idea. Sorry.
I'll take the French any day.
I don't know too many French people, at least not from France, but the Brits. I mean, I've been around them, and it's part of my heritage too. So
they're more formal. They're very formal, and the American Army is not as formal, and the French are definitely not as formal.
I can't say about the Canadian forces. I mean, I have no idea. The one thing I do know is Canada has a reputation of the politest country in the world. And one fellow that I know had said to me years ago that a lot of Americans make the mistake of thinking that Canadians are friendly. And we're not necessarily. We're polite. Polite doesn't necessarily mean that we're friendly. It just means that we're polite. The Canadians are notorious for being polite. That's our reputation.
The Canadians worked on a lot of engineering projects in Afghanistan. I worked closely with several Canadians. And one thing I liked about Afghanistan is international forces. It's really a good job of the whole world is in Afghanistan. I thought that was good.
I have no idea. I've never been over there. I mean, where's Afghanistan in the world? I'm not really sure. Geography is not my strongest.
If you go to India and you head north, you go into Pakistan, and then Afghanistan is directly above that. To the west, you'll find Iran. To the north, you'll find all the stands. Well, to the east, and one of my areas in my second tour, you'll hit China on the corner.
Where would you find Israel? To the west somewhere?
At least on the in the Mediterranean, all the way east.
So I'm just trying to think where it would be from Afghanistan.
You know where the Persian Gulf is?
Roughly, I think, yeah.
Yeah, the Persian Gulf, anyway, we had to fly around Iran, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right.
I was in Israel a long time ago, and I mean, when people talk about giving land back over there, it's like if you had actually been there and seen how small the land masses are, it's like what do you mean giving back? There's nothing to give back.
Yeah.
Or very little at any rate.
So closing up tonight, because I do have to edit.
Of
come on the
course.
show. We'll talk when we come back on the show. And I'm thinking more and more, since I can put up a website so fast, this new system is I can make a real quick link to all these different sites by creating a new Gmail account. I can create a Twitter account. I can create a YouTube site. I can create, let me go Weekly Scam. Weekly Scam is the example. So that's just a separate site.
I got to see if I can find that book that I wrote. It was about online fraud, and it actually, it's kind of funny that I'm on your show because I wound up writing a whole bunch of stuff for a magazine called Windows Secrets, and one of the things that we spoke about at length, like I wrote a thing about spammers.
Mm-hmm.
A long piece on that, and I wrote another piece to do with online security. I've written a whole bunch of stuff to do with security, but one of the things that we were writing about Crypto Locker, and one of the pieces of software that I have on my computer to make damn sure that I won't get infected with ransomware is called Crypto Prevent, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So all this stuff, I've been writing about it for a long time. It's just one of those things I wind up into.
We talked about that last week. The
small world. We
talked about the case where the hospital and I forgot
Lockheed Software and Graham Cluley, whose link I put into your chat here,
mm-hmm.
is like you said. What does it mean if you see the Lockheed extension on your computer? It means that you've been hit by ransomware.
Right. It was Hollywood Presbyterian. Here's the link right here. Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center paid 40 Bitcoins, which is about $17,000.
Jesus.
And
that's so sickening, this stuff with these people.
Well, all they had to do is if they had backup, so couldn't they just bring their backup? If they could back up every hour, huh?
But the trouble is, if the virus got into their backups, they're screwed.
Yeah, but it's a backup is every day you have a separate backup, or whenever you back it up, it doesn't. There's a wall between backups.
In theory, but if there wasn't, then it could have affected the backups too. That's part of what Cluley was talking about in his article, if I remember correctly. His stuff is really good.
Well, you should come on the show. We're up every Sunday night, so come up from time to time. We'll have you on as a guest, or
Sure.
If you come on Timelines, we'll have you on this show as a guest to just talk about your books. And
yeah, Sunday night. Yeah, sure.
This is Friday night. We do the Weekly Scam Friday night. Sunday night's politics.
Oh,
you don't. Want,
sorry.
Sunday night is like weird. Only good thing. About
so that's where
I had 2,700 people watch one of my blabs once.
Wow. So this thing about the Weekly Scam, this is it right now.
It's only on Sunday night. Yeah. It's only on Friday night now.
Only on Friday night. You do a lot of podcasting, man.
I do 7. I do 1 every day.
Wow.
And we have tomorrow in the morning will be WP Tonic, which is a very good WordPress site at 9:00. And
that sounds really cool.
We review people's websites when we're done. We do a little discussion about WordPress. And Jonathan Denwood, who's an Englishman who lives over here in Carson City. And then on Sunday, we do the Weekly Scam. Then I do 3 interviews on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on Timelines. Then on Thursday, I'm doing a real estate show because we have real estate companies, but primarily because of a SaaS developer, develop a product in real estate. And then we do Friday, we do this show. So, and then
where's Carson City exactly? You said you're in Nevada?
I'm in Reno, Nevada. So if you know where Sacramento is, you know where
yes, I do.
San Francisco, next city over Sacramento, then you go over the hill and you hit Reno 2 hours later over the Sierras. Beautiful drive on Highway 80, and you hit go past Lake Tahoe and you hit Reno.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I live at 5,000 feet.
I know how that feels. I used to live at not that high, but I used to live at 3,400 feet many years ago. Actually, where I'm at right now is not that far away is the ocean behind me going that way. I'm actually north of the city of Ensenada in Mexico on the Baja.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. No complaints. I like it down here.
Well, I will see you up on timelines and pop up anytime. And I'm trying
Yeah,
to,
sure.
I think I'm going to try to find people like yourself. Just think about this, who want to bring on other people to interview jointly and do
Sure.
like a 7 series on some specific topic, put up on its website by itself, put it on YouTube. The question is, do you want to use Blab or do you want to use Skype or call recorder?
You're the boss here. I mean, you make the call, but what I started doing for my own interviews, the legends of online marketing, I've been doing all my interviews on Blab. And the reason that I'm doing them on Blab, I could have done Google Hangouts on air.
Mm-hmm.
I find it a bit too cumbersome.
Yeah, Blab is really easy.
Blab is really easy. And I also like the random factor with Blab. You never know who's going to show up. And afterwards, the quality of the video from what I've seen and getting it up on YouTube or just doing a little bit of light editing, it's worked just great for me.
That's
No
good.
problem at all.
Let's talk about that because I'm actually making a $5 Blab course on using that plugin.
There's somebody else that you should, oh, hold on. Here's another site I'm going to send you to. I just want to make sure I've got the right URL because she's using Blab to make money and she would be someone that you might want to tap into.
I just want to make enough money so I don't have to go back to work.
Yeah.
And also, the other thing I'm really good at before the war is I'm really good in politics, getting people elected and getting elected myself.
Well, you've got so many skills, man. You could easily make money from what you're doing. It's just about getting creative about how you take those skills and turn them into dollars. And if there's any way I can help you with that, I'd be glad to do that.
Well, thanks. And I like your idea of 50-50 with sending out the list, making a short set of series and then sell it, 50-50 on.
The site that I just gave you is blogaid.net. The woman who runs it is Mayana, and she uses Blab to make money. She's been driving traffic to her courses. She does a course on Blab.
Oh, yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah, okay, so good.
A friend of her, she doesn't have her name up.
Yeah, it says right under her picture, it says Mayana helps.
Mayana, right.
Yeah, she's a good person to talk to. I met her.
Really nice. She's really nice. I've invited her on a show too.
Cool. There's somebody else. Geez, I'm rather astonished. I usually don't throw out links and information like this, but there's one other person that I want to introduce you to. She runs a weekly Google Hangout on air. Her name is Loelan Fulsang, and she's a friend of mine. I'm just trying to see. Actually, I'm not seeing it on. Let me just see. Just want to see if I can find the. Okay, I'm just trying to get the link to come up. Okay, I've got a link to this woman's community, Loelan Fulsang, and she runs a weekly hangout on air called Being Your Own CEO. And that is on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock Pacific. So that's for the community, but in the community, she also provides links for the hangout. And there's one other person I want to tap you into as well. It's to do with website design, a whole bunch of other stuff. Mm-hmm. But what he's doing is probably going to be a conflict for tomorrow. So, but I want to give it to you regardless.
We invite the very, very best WordPress owners and people in the world on that show.
Yeah, this particular guy, his name is Roland Takaoka. Mm-hmm. And he has been my co-host. I met him through a Hangout on Air, Loelan's group, actually. And I met him. He's become a really good friend. He's a very, very helpful guy. But the link that I sent you to is to his show tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock Pacific, Saturday morning Marketing Smarties.
I've seen him somewhere. I recognize his face.
I wouldn't be surprised. Roland's a really great guy. Like I said, I met him through Lowell Lands Group, and I did a presentation. There were 5 of us on. I wound up with 3 fans out of the group, and they're all my friends now. I just love this online experience. It's just amazingly good.
Well, I look forward to seeing you back on the show, Nathan, and
Sure.
doing your timeline should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I look forward to it. So that's Monday, 5 o'clock Pacific, if I have
That's
that
this
correct.
one. Let's see if it's sunk onto my schedule here yet.
Yeah, I just
Let's see, Monday, the 29th, right?
yeah, Monday the 29th.
Oh, how did I do? I screwed up there. That's good. You can stick it on there. You know, I accidentally, I double scheduled because I have one in the morning at 9.
Oops. Okay.
Because I just changed my links. Now I realize what happened. Is there any chance you can move that to March the 1st?
Sure. No problem.
So go in there and just cancel it.
Okay.
No, I can do it. Let me do it. Let me do it on my side.
Okay.
We'll do it while here. I'm going to go into Visita. That's my fault because I just reset because I'm trying to transition. I was doing it in the morning.
Okay.
And when I did in the morning, that's my prime time to work and be creative.
Right.
So by doing a 9 o'clock, I tore up my prime time. Then I went right into editing. I'll edit tonight right away.
Well, this one that you've got scheduled is from 5 to 6 in the evening.
Yeah, but I'm gonna I want to cancel I want to change. I have an early one that day. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask her to reschedule. Let's leave that one there. We'll leave that one Monday,
Okay.
and I'll ask the person to reschedule.
Okay.
So that'll work.
So what are we going to do on Monday then? We'll be talking about.
Or it's going to be a timeline.
Yeah.
If you watch that 4-minute clip, what it's going to be the first 10 minutes, we're going to talk about something really unique that you want to talk about that people will grab their attention. And then a little bit about yourself in that second part of the 10 minutes.
Okay.
Then in the next 10 minutes, we talk about life and success principles. So what I ask you to do is write down at least 3 life and success principles. And I've got a link to life and success principles too. Let me pull that up.
Yeah. Well, geez, one of the, okay. I know of one thing that instantly comes to mind of it. If you want to become successful in any area of life, you need to learn how to model.
Take people who are successful and follow them.
It's not specifically about following them. Following them is only one aspect of it. Like when I had this major transformation in my life a year ago, it had to do with Eckhart Tolle, but I wasn't just following him. I was watching a lot of videos. I was reading his books. I was looking at articles that he had written, and I was also writing some of my own articles, and I was using his style of writing. I was doing it unconsciously. I didn't realize what I was doing at the time. Later, when I had okay, you just posted a link here, so I'm going to have to look at that.
That's just just an idea to get the success in life principles. Some people just look at those and there's an exercise, and that's just some of the things that people have said over time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things, yeah. Okay. So modeling would be one. If you're suffering in your life, whatever you do, you must stop blaming other people for your trouble. If you're doing it, you need to stop.
I like to get down to a short phrase. So take personal responsibility or something like that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
But I want to ask one last thing as we close.
Sure.
Here's something that's happened to I've got a 13 and 15-year-old daughter.
Uh-huh.
They both started gymnastics. The younger one started 2 years sooner. They were in when they were 3 and 5. Then they were out for a couple of years. Then they got back in, and probably around 9 to 11, 9 and 11, somewhere in there. So the older one, 15, was passionate when she was younger, but now we went to a new gym. The 13-year-old has excelled. She was rated last year at level 7 for her age 12. And her birthday is at a perfect time. Her birthday is May 26th, and then she turns 13. So she's 13 now. Well, the states are usually around the end of April. Regionals happen the first week of May, and the whole competition's over for nationals by the end of May.
Okay.
So she gets to be the younger age all the way. So she was rated as high as you can go in level 7 is regionals. She was rated number 3 overall in the Southwest, and number 1 in bars. So she's a very, very good gymnast at the 13-year-old. The 15-year-old injured herself last year and is trying to so she goes to college. And now, because of the gym that we're at, we've got a gold medalist and really top-notch instructors, but they're all from Eastern European countries. And they have a very good gym, but they held back my older daughter so they could build up this level 7, this one team. And it really hurt her going forward. She needed to be up a higher level at her age. Yeah. But so my younger daughter's ahead of her and at a younger age. So we're trying to get her a new gym. I think Reno is a lot of Olympians here in Reno because of the altitude and the training.
Okay.
And anyway, it's not that she'd go to the Olympics. We're just looking at college, but she's thinking about getting out. But I truly believe, I went initially when my daughters were younger, I went and talked to the coach about getting the younger one. She was being held off the team. And I said, you need to get her on the team. And she got on the team that year and did really well at the end.
Good.
I mean, she's always done well. She's just excelled. I don't know why they ever held her. It's really hard to explain. It's a different culture than our culture.
So you said you had a question about it?
The question is, I sort of blame, and my wife and I, and we probably shouldn't, but we should have got her out of that gym a year ago.
Oh.
Or talked earlier. They were held back a little. They held them back initially when they first got to the gym because they want to strengthen their strengthen their teams from the individual competition. It's hard to explain. And so my older daughter may get out of gymnastics this year. And I said, it takes a little bit of time off, go to another gym for the summer and just see how it goes. Gymnastics is a lot of sacrifice. They really sacrifice what they do. It's 4 hours a day. And it's hard work. Really hard work at their level. But anyway.
So what is the question exactly?
The 15-year-old, I shouldn't probably, but I guess it's our fault by not making decisions earlier to get her out of the gym, go to a different gym. The 15-year-old.
Well, the first thing you need to do is stop blaming yourself for whatever it is that happened. Okay, that's what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very first thing.
Well, if you take responsibility, don't you take blame?
Well, taking responsibility is not necessarily about taking blame. Taking responsibility is where you say, I wish a certain event or a series of events hadn't happened. But one of the major mistakes that people make is they look at a past event with the knowledge that they have now, and they beat themselves over the head with the knowledge that they have now about something that happened in the past. The trouble is, when you were in the past, you had that past knowledge. You didn't have the advanced knowledge. If you had the advanced knowledge in the past, you would have done something differently. Right. The very fact that you didn't means that you couldn't.
So true. You made the best decision you could at the time, or you had other conflicts.
Exactly. If you had known better in a particular way, you would have done better. The fact that you didn't know, you couldn't do anything.
Yeah. And experience. Well, I do have to go. We'll talk more.
Sounds good.
Thanks. By the way, I made you a host.
Oh, thank you.
You made a host, so it should show up on your feed.
I don't see it. I don't see it now. I see myself as guest on.
Refresh yourself and come back up because I made you as a host. It'll show up. Okay. Here we go. Hey, folks, thank you for tuning in to Timeline's weekly scam show. And it's been really interesting. I hope he comes back up. He was really a nice guest to have on at the end. We had some nice folks tonight. There he goes. You see H up there.
I see that. Yeah. Very cool. Thank you.
Refreshing. What will happen is, here's the key when you make other people hosts on Blab.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you close them out, because if they accidentally stay on or pop back up, I've had people leave it open for 6 hours, one of my guests, because they didn't close it down all the way.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and close you out, and I'll see you back on Monday.
Okay. Look forward to it.
Thanks. All right. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.